Great, let's just dive into it, shall we? So, we've played a bunch of Jeskai Tempo and Modern on this channel throughout the course of varying years. It's an addiction. Snapcastering Lightning Bolt is not a choice, it's a lifestyle, and I've snapped a good many Lightning Bolts. We played Blue-Red Tempo with some Brazen Borrowers in it, and seemed pretty reasonable. Today we've got Jeskai with not only Brazen Borrower, but also 4 copies of Bonecrusher Giant here, so a little bit of extra reach and another threat. We've got the Spell Queller alongside Teferi, which is super powerful because Teferi's static text here says they don't get to recast their spell while it's underneath Spell Queller. So let's just go ahead and dive on into a league here and see how this one goes. Someone asked about the start time. Yeah, I'm going to be pushing back my start time a hair again for the foreseeable future. As always, you can find my current schedule always updated on my website. When I make changes like that, I also post them in the subscriber Discord announcements channel, and I post them on Twitter as well. Usually you can find my schedule for the current week pinned to my Twitter profile. Morning, gamers. This layout here doesn't really do justice to the curve of this deck, because if you notice when I lay it out in the deck editor, I feel like this is more representative, because like these are 2 mana spells, Snapcaster Mage is like a 3 to 4 mana spell, so like Snap either belongs, like realistically the curve probably looks something like this, which is like somewhat reasonable, a little bit chunky compared to some other modern decks, but not as bad as others. Yeah, Bolt, Snap, Bolt. It's the thing the control deck can do to kind of remain relevant when it's just trying to linear. I'm going to keep this. And get Thoughtseize on one and just have 1 spell left. Whiskey Dingo, thank you for the 23 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. City of Brass. Could be Neoshoal. Could be Ad Nauseam. Could be Dredge. Could be a Brew. Hand sucks keep. That is a relevant combination of emoticons, I think. Opponent suspended Lotus Bloom. That means we are playing against Ad Nauseam here. I think this matchup tends to be pretty okay for us in general. However, our current hand here is not stellar. Postboard, we've got a number of good tools to bring in here. Strokes, Rejections, Negation, D-Sphere, Stony Silence. Playing against Ad Nauseam means that these Lightning Helix are going to start going upstairs next turn. So we can try and race them here. Yeah, I redid a number of the emotes. I got rid of some of the ones that were a little bit less used and added some other ones. It's actually a pretty good draw. We get to just like stomp their face and then we get to stomp their face and then play Bonecrusher Giant the following turn. Putting on double City of Brass means we're taking quite a bit of damage here, but our game plan, our deck is, while we are able to present a real clock, if my opponent has a good draw here, we're definitely not equipped to race them. Hey, Whipping Rhinos, thanks for the 12 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Let's get your sword to go with that shield. There are a lot of great new formats. Someone asked, what life total can they not kill us from? Usually there's a Laboratory Maniac in their main, and even if they don't have a Laboratory Maniac in their main, I would expect that they can kill us from 30 plus, so. Ooh, that's really good. That's actually phenomenal. This lets us reset a Pentad Prism here, draw a card. It means Lotus Bloom can't be cast during their upkeep. They're Pact of Negationing us, so I assume that means we're dying next turn. So Pact of Negation here, counters a spell, and then at the beginning of the next upkeep they have to pay 5 or lose the game. So I assume they can just kill us in response to this trigger here. That comes off. They could also just have Dub's Angel's Grace. So they could Angel's Grace in response to this to not lose the game. They could also just be paying 5, I guess. Wow. Okay. Yeah, deal. Super, super okay with that. How does Stomp work versus Angel's Grace? I believe Angel's Grace wins, but I'm not a judge. Did I get a judge ruling on that? Angel's Grace does not prevent damage. I didn't think so. Grace does not prevent damage, it modifies what damage does. Magic's really intuitive, easy to understand, etc. We could be dead here. If they have Angel's Grace plus Ad Nauseam, we lose the game. I'm so confused. Alright, I'm gonna kill you now. This is why some of these games in Modern are so awkward. It's just like, well, I didn't really... Like, even if we win this, I didn't really beat my opponent so much as they just, like, didn't do anything. So you're just like dead to this Lightning Helix then, I guess. Yeah, it's just like, well, I mean, I guess I win. I guess I win. Well, that's a Spell Queller. All right, yeah, sure. I'm so confused how this game played out. I'm very, very confused. I mean, I'll take it, I guess. So counter spells in D-Sphere, in Stony Silence turns off their Lotus Fields and their Pentad Prism, so I think that comes in. Billy Zane Jr., thanks for the 14 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I think that's all I want to do. I think I want to leave the Boltson as a little bit of reach, something good to snap back. The rest of this seems fine. I think I'd rather have Stony Silence than Ceremonious Rejection. The opponent drew more cards than us, so they're the real winner here. That's a fine take. Accurate. Does Ad Nauseam have any advantages over Neo-Shulbrand as an archetype? No, I don't think Ad Nauseam is very good. I think it's been a very long time. I think it's been a very long time since Ad Nauseam was anything close to reasonable. Yeah, I don't think I can keep this one in good conscience knowing the matchup that we're playing. Game 1 in the dark, I'd keep that first hand, but like knowing what we're playing against, it's definitely not a keep. I'm gonna bottom. I think it's just like Borrower land here. You flash back the spell side of an adventure card. You cannot. Adventure cards are creatures everywhere except when they are on the stack as a non-creature spell. Prince Tay, thanks for the 11 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. So they count as only creatures everywhere else. Pentad Prism resolves. You can't go on an adventure if you're dead. With the hard-hitting truths right there. Can I have my first timeout in Hooglandia? I would like the record to reflect, Rudy, that I can give you a timeout, but it would not be your first. Twitch says you've already been timed out once before. So I'm happy to deliver on your second, but I just want you to know that that cherry's already been popped. And they suspended Lotus Bloom. Yep. You were timed out in September 2018. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. Does anyone run Electrolytes anymore? What are the odds I die next turn if I cast this Bonecrusher Giant? I feel like the answer is low. Famous last words. Famous last words. I feel like the odds I die here are low. Play my 4-3 and go. Oh. Land here is a great draw. Whatever happened to Anner? He's still around. He mostly watches on YouTube stuff. He said his day job got busy and he can't catch live anymore. One of the interesting metrics about Hooglandia is that about 50% of my total content watch time actually happens on YouTube. Grand Abolisher. During your turn, opponents can't cast spells. Let's not have that one, shall we? No. Bad opponent. So this card here says they don't lose the game for having 0 or less life. When they have that low of a life total, they take infect damage instead of normal damage. So basically, we're going to get them to 0 and then Brazen Borrower this unlife, most likely. Some of us open a window and just hear your voice while we work. Yeah, I think that's pretty common too, Justin. Hope life is treating you well. Yeah, we knowed their no. Grand Abolisher. We're pretty fortunate to have Spell Queller there for the Grand Abolisher. Otherwise, it would have just like shut down our Stroke and our Veto here. I'm going to just go ahead and let their Lotus Bloom resolve here. We are not about to let Silence resolve. That one. Opponent's got a lot of hateful cards, chat. A lot of hateful cards. I hurt myself for the 24-month resub. Thanks for sticking around for 2 entire years. I appreciate it. Hooglandia has seen some changes in that time. Thanks to everybody who stuck through. This is the part where we get like Pack of Negation. If we bounce Unlife in response to Ad Nauseam, do we win? Yeah, probably. Pick that one. Pick that one back up. Opponent revealed ad nauseum to ad nauseum. The game has ended. Yeah, having what game you're currently in displayed on the screen somewhere in Magic Online would be nice. It's one of those features from Arena. The second game we had some choices. The first game was pretty whatever. The second game, like, we both had some back and forth. This deck's got good tools for most matchups in the format. The way this deck's constructed as is, I'm a bit of a dog to Dredge, but I think I'd rather hedge the big mana decks than Dredge at this current point in time in Modern. Cardis, thank you for the 1.5 years of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I have a horse. What do I name her? Whatever you would like. It is your beautiful horsey. For people that didn't see the go live notification, today's stream is going to be a little bit of a shorter one. As you can see from the title, I'm just planning to do 3 decks. I'll be back to doing my normal longer self tomorrow. And the rest of the week, as always, you can find my schedule updated on my website. Moop. Thanks for the 14 months, Jensen. Opponent appears to be trying to infect us, which is generally an okay matchup. Definitely not unlosable, but I think on average we end up ahead here. He says before his opponent plays a spell skite out that he could never beat. Magic sucks and then you die. Oh, Magic. Oh, Magic. Listen, we chose to register Celestial Colonnade today. We have no one to blame but ourselves for what happens to us from here on out. So we were going to get to double spell this, but then they played the second main deck Spellscape. We're incredibly dead. I don't know. I could draw a Path to Exile, right? I mean, obviously Jeskai control hurt them, right? Very, very clearly Jeskai control hurt them. I have a Veto here, and like Brazen Borrower is a good pickup too, right? Because this lets me block this. I'm gonna go ahead and snap off this Veto here. They could have a Become Immense, but it is what it is. So we're going to end step, Borrower, bounce one of these, double spell, kill the other. Depending on the quality of the opponent's hand, that might be enough to get us through this. This might not. Correct, yeah. With the two skites out, if I go to double spell kill one, they'll just redirect the second part. Thanks for the 9 months, Snugglebear. I appreciate the 3/4 of a year. Welcome back. Yep. So this can't be blocked currently. I mean, like, if I hit a path, we could be okay. 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 So they don't get to rebound their spell, it just stays in exile. And we're dead. Got it. Got it good. It's a good time. It's a good time. Playing interactive decks in Modern, you know? All of the fun. I don't think this is a Force of Negation matchup. I took last week off and found out I still have another week of vacation time. Do you mind if you stay a little while longer? Not at all. Not at all. I feel like Bonecrusher is probably a cut here, just because they're going to have a lot of ways to interact with my stuff, interact with my interaction, and like, if they like Blossoming Defense this, I lose the adventure half. You want to board in Rejection? I think boarding in Rejection is not good. I know they like double Spellscated us that game, but like I'm boarding in a 4th path, I'm boarding in 2 Abrades, I'm boarding in 2 Detention Spheres. So I think that's probably not worthwhile. This is my mana base. There are many like it, but this one belongs to me. I'm gonna bottom snap here. The old basic island Lightning Helix. Any red or white source, this hand's very reasonable. Ding. The King of Oglandia is just in. I probably want Hallowed Fountain here. Definitely Hallowed Fountain or Steam Vents. We're going to Petty Theft this. Then we can Spell Queller it on the way back down. Yeah, but if I boarded in Rejection, I wouldn't have boarded in. It wouldn't have been over any of these cards that are currently in my hand. I don't know if that's a very good comparison. Like, they just elected not to play into the Spell Queller here, so I just get to, like, play Brazen Borrower. Like, good luck, Godspeed. And there's not even a guarantee that, like, they have 4 Spell Skites, right? Like, I know they had 2 last game, but there's a real chance that, like, they only play 2 Spell Skites. Like, I know it, like, felt really bad that, like, they drew 2 Spell Skites, so, like, we didn't draw any of our answers, but that's just, like, how these decks work. Sometimes your stuff isn't going to line up well into theirs. My body's excited to get Mystical Disputed here. Dismembered, maybe? Bladed Agent, sure. Alright, so... this game's probably going to be a runaway. We get to play Teferi. Get to Lightning Helix, this Bladed Agent. Get to attack them for 5. Then we get to bounce my Spell Queller with Teferi. Veil is legal mono. Veil is legal. Veil does not stop Spell Queller, though, because Spell Queller exiles. It doesn't actually technically counterspell. Is being on the play good, chat? I feel like being on the play might be good. Might be something to this whole being on the play thing. Man, our openers have just not been good today. We're in 24 or 25 lands. We're on 24. This might be 1 land too few. Might be right to just cut an opt and play a 25th land. That sucks, Seambot. Thanks for dropping the prime off again here. They should ban being on the play. Yeah, big agree. Big feelings. Big agree. My bottom Snapcaster here, I think. Am I? I could be greedy and bottom a land. I'm gonna bottom a land. Opt probably finds me a land, and then I can snap up to find some action. OG Zendikar creature lands would be too powerful for standard / pioneer. I don't know. Probably not. The current power level's real high. Yeah, I definitely think Wizards should experiment with ways to mitigate play draw variance. I think the extreme nature of the play draw variance in Magic is one of the single worst things about the game. I hope we see some experimentation with that at some point. Five color Niv Mizzet is very bad. There's plenty of decks that are very fun that are awful. We've played that awful deck a number of times before. Garden Variety Troll. It's better in Pioneer. Most of those decks like that are underpowered in Modern are fine in Pioneer. This deck is sweet is basically code word in Magic for this deck's awful, but I like playing it anyway, so I do. I'm excited to die next turn. I assume we're dead, right? Because otherwise Vines would have killed us. I think I'm going to be removing Modern from the formats that I accept for deck submissions. This format's just super bland. Just, I don't know. The decks people want to see played, and like, not even the decks that people want to pay to see played, just like, the game's just like, we're 2 matches in, it's just like I felt this way the last 2 times we've been playing, like, we're 1-1, we're not even losing all of our matches, and it's just like, I don't know, it's just so bland, right? Like my opponent's deck didn't do anything, I died, they died. My deck like kinda did stuff, but like they had a bunch of anti-interaction. I didn't get to do much, and then I died. It just really isn't fun. Yeah. I'm gonna update the website right now. It takes me like 30 seconds. I got two more modern decks in the queue that will play out, but after that I'm gonna be done. I'm not gonna take any more. So we'll do one modern deck next week and the week after, and then we're gonna call it a day on the format. I don't know. It's just like there's just so many there's just so many people that like want to see other formats, and I enjoy the other formats more, so maybe if we get to a point in my life where like I can't keep my queue full and I like don't have content to make with Pioneer and other formats, we can revisit, but I mean, People talking about like your comment there, Nomad, I think is just like, nothing's fundamentally changed. Like, what's going on in Modern now isn't really any different than like what's been going on in the format for a while. It's just, I feel like we have a lot of perspective on it now. Like, once upon a time, Modern was the only format that was non-rotating that people could afford to play. And now, like, that's not true, right? Yeah, like the past, like, 4 years or so. Heathen, thanks for the 6 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. It was fairly I mean, kinda. I mean, I don't even know. I don't think that's an accurate description either, right? Like, my opponent played a couple of cards that rendered all of my interaction useless. So I think describing that match we just played as interactive is like kind of nonsense. Thanks, Jedi. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think that's part of it too, Percy. I definitely think the number of people who are like, oh, my sweeper's always gotten beat up in Modern, there's like other ways to go too. Yeah, I agree, Shame Spiral. When there wasn't an alternative, Modern was like one of those things you wanted to hang out with, but like, I mean, like, MTGO things aside, right? Because, like, Pioneer is also on MTGO. Like, all client things equal, I prefer Pioneer to Modern by a good measure. Yeah, I think that's a good assessment too. The axes of gameplay that are unique to Modern that you can't find in Pioneer are largely axes of gameplay I just like have no interest in participating in. It's just like, well, that doesn't happen in Pioneer, but that kind of sucked, so I'm glad that doesn't happen in Pioneer. Yeah, I agree, Jedi. I agree. I mean, I like the direction in which they're taking the Pioneer ban list. I think the updates that we had yesterday were all like super reasonable updates. What are the odds they're a Death Shadow deck? Feels non-zero. I enjoy tabletop Modern a lot. So I hate that description. Just because you don't, so what you actually enjoy is you don't actually enjoy Modern. You enjoy casual Magic with the Modern ban list, which is fine. Like, casual Magic is the best Magic has to offer, by and large, not close. Casual Magic is great. Casual Magic is way more popular than competitive Magic, but like, selling your casual Magic experience as Modern, I think, is nonsense. As a ruthless combo player, all my prey moved out of Modern to play Pioneer, so I sold out of it too. Yeah, I think there were a lot of people that were just like, the only reason they enjoyed Modern was because of that basically casual Magic with the Modern ban list experience, right? Like, my bad deck was sweet, but, you know, half or more of the decks that I played against were also bad decks, so I enjoyed that. I think a lot of those folks have moved on to different pastures. So what are we... They played... double discard spell Blood Crypt. I think I just like board in my removal. I think I'm just going to put them on Shadow. They took my Time Ravelers away. I think I'm going to put them on Shadow. Like trim Vetoes and Helix. See how this goes. How do I feel about EDH? I'm not a huge fan. So like, I know I just got done talking about how competitive Magic is the best that Magic has to offer for a lot of people, but I'm not one of those people. My tuning and tweaking and focusing on the competitive aspect of Magic, even if it's like, a lot of what we do here is we're playing competitively within confines that we've put on ourselves, basically. So we're like, okay, we're going to try and optimize this deck, or we're going to optimize within these restraints. That's what I really enjoy. And I feel like there isn't really an avenue to do that with EDH. Like there aren't leagues, there aren't Grand Prix, there aren't opens, etc. So it just doesn't allow Magic. EDH doesn't allow Magic to scratch that itch for me. And like, when I play games completely casually, they're usually non-Magic games, not only because Magic's basically my job, but also because, like, playing Magic casually still tends to be reasonably expensive. Hashtag MTG finance sucks. Like, when I sit down to play a game casually, it's gonna involve, you know, board games. Perfect. You know, and I don't think they plan to, Jedi. I think if they were ever going to approach the format in that way, they would have approached it that way a long time ago. Someone asked if I'd still take Neoshield Brand. Actually, one of the two modern decks we have left are actually very good decks. So like, after this one, the 2 decks in the queue are Neoshield Brand, which is good, but super fun. And so there's Neoshield Brand and the Simic Urza deck are the 2 decks that are in the deck queue. So we'll see how those go. I don't know. Just like, even playing the good decks in Modern for the last couple of months, I've just felt like it just feels like a chore even when we're winning. Can this bump Pioneer, Blue Water Alliance? Played the archetype a lot this weekend and got a few 5-0s. Excited to see how you approach it. Yeah, definitely, Mike. Thanks for the bits. I appreciate it. Anytime anybody cheers 100 bits or more or donates $1 or more, can always go to bumping up a deck. I'm just going to go ahead and play this 4-3 out and try and run them down. Is tabletop synonymous for kitchen table? I always assumed it means they are not the same. So kitchen table magic refers to like casual magic. Tabletop magic encompasses not only casual magic that's played at the kitchen table, but also I gave them a target for Dismember. Yep, okay. What I like to make my opponent not play the game, if so I could submit group. Nah, I think I'm just gonna chill. Like, there's too many. I've got so many Pioneer decks in the queue that like I've given up on trying to keep up on them all. It's just not possible. Format's too popular, so you know. I did several weeks of doing lots of double-digit Pioneer decks per week and still wasn't quite keeping up, so if we have less Modern, we'll just replace it with more Pioneer, which I think is a fine trade-off. Yeah, I think that's the case. And in all honesty, I would be willing to bet that the subset of people who currently prefer Modern to Pioneer are probably people that I alienated at some point anyways. Just because, like, the types of gameplay that you would have to prefer Pioneer over, or Modern over Pioneer, I probably have not said nice things about it over the years. Teferi Time Raveler. Huh. I'm in for that. I've got Spell Queller. I'm not just gonna jam this here because I don't want to get soft stubbed off this Steam vents, but this seems fine. So that makes me slightly surprised by your comment. The person in chat suggested they like tabletop. That might not encompass competitive level events, right? I.e. different formats online and in paper. So what they mean by tabletop, Garden Variety Troll, is effectively casual Magic. What they're referring to as tabletop Magic, they mean playing at their local game store, I assume, with other like-minded individuals that are also playing decks that aren't really competitive. Which is fine. Like, playing two decks that, like, are never realistically going to do well against decks that are actually good in the format can be fun and generate good games of Magic. And ultimately, Magic's a game that you should play for fun. No, you're playing Hearthstone right now. You can cast your spell on your turn, opponent. Whenever there are ban updates in Magic, you can always come into the channel and type !bans in chat to get a quick rundown on my feelings on said bans. I appreciate you being so diligent, uploading all your stuff to YouTube. I got a 9 to 5, so I can't always tune in. It would be great. It's great to be able to come home and catch up. I really appreciate that tier 2 window head. Be sure to take a peek at the deck queue if you get a chance and drop me a DM and let me know what you'd like to see a bit sooner. Tier 2s get to bump something by 10 points every month as a thank you for that extra level of support. One thing I mentioned yesterday, by the way, is my YouTube stuff should actually be... my YouTube stuff should actually be uploaded quicker now than it has been. So normally, for the past little while, there's been like a 2 to 4 hour like delay in publishing stuff on YouTube. And I think I've worked my system back out so that doesn't happen anymore, which is great. I'm able to get things processing midstream now, so that way when I sign off for the day, bump Temur Oko with 4 mana Viv. 10 out of 10 will do. Glad to see people liking the historic stuff as well. I like playing non-rotating formats. Hey, Scooter. Thanks for the 20 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. My hand's pretty good. Other streamers I sub to have a month delay on their YouTube content. Yeah, I don't know. Eladox, thanks for the 8 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. I found my niche, and YouTube stuff works well for me. I get good feedback from people on, I don't know. I think the people that are saying, I think the comment, I think Modern is sweet, but the ban list needs some work. I think you are setting yourselves up for disappointment. I think anybody... Oh, Modern. I think anybody who expects Modern to ever not be the crap show it currently is, like, if you're not currently enjoying the play patterns of Modern, I think expecting the play patterns of Modern to fundamentally change from what they are now is foolish. If you enjoy current Modern for what it is, that's great and you should enjoy it. But I think expecting it to ever be fundamentally different than what it is right now and has been for the last little bit is expecting something to happen that's just not going to happen. You need to like Modern for what it is now or move on with your life. And Pioneer's a great way to move on. Yeah, that's one of the things, that's probably the most valuable piece of information I learned from my sub polls. And I think it's honestly part of the reason why I have so many Twitch subs in proportion to my viewer count at my size, is because like 70% of my subs on average in the polls say they watch as much or more of me on YouTube as they do on Twitch. Yeah, I agree, Draken. I feel like Mox is never going anywhere. Modern is great after the Great Pioneer update. All I need is a timeout. I got you. Thanks for the 16 months. All right, we're going to get a rematch against Infect here, it looks like. My body is ready to get spell skited out of the game. Morning, Dawn. Yeah, actually, I want to see more powerful cards. You want to see stuff like Pawn Unbanned. I think those statements are at odds with each other, honestly. Like, I don't think Birthing Pot... I think there's a number of cards just, like, would come off the ban list and not do anything because they're just not good enough. I mean, it's always morning somewhere, Pokemon nerd, right? Like, my setup being what it is allows me to catch people in time spots where they normally wouldn't be able to watch, right? So, like, regardless of when you stream, there's almost certainly some amount of people out there who would enjoy your content that can't catch you live consistently. Stump Do, thanks for the quarter viewer. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I agree. Modern with everything pre-RTR banned is pretty decent. The Fetch Land ban too is honestly just such a huge quality of life improvement. Not having to deal with fetch lands is just like A++. And this Field of Ruin here too to deal with the Zinc buff. Oh, you know what? Was I supposed to... I wasn't thinking about it. I could have fielded the Ink Moth and then bolted the Agent. I guess that gives them an untapped land to protect the Agent then, though. So that's probably not ideal. Thanks for the half year, Aeonius. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Almost mushmouthed that into not polite. Came for the magic, stayed for the dabs. Almost. I'm sticking with almost, okay? It's my story and I'm sticking to it. Alright. Maybe I shouldn't say this because I almost posted it on Twitter yesterday, but then I decided not to because I felt people would get upset at me for saying it. But here's my blisteringly hot take, chat. If you were surprised that Smuggler Copter or Field of the Dead got banned, and you bought into those cards, and it's put you out financially that you bought into those cards, you're probably not smart enough to be successful at Magic the Gathering anyways, and you're better off selling out. Because guess what? They point blank told you that this format was going to have an aggressive ban list moderation. They point blank said it. They were just like, and all these people are just like, surprise Pikachu face. They did the thing they told me they were gonna do. I'm upset. Rabble, 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 rabble. Like, guess what? You'll probably have a better time in a different game. Can I recommend Candyland? I bet Candyland is more your speed, if you couldn't figure that out. You're currently playing Hearthstone, opponent. Your thing is dead. Get out of here. They about to Dryad Arbor me? I bet they're about to Dryad Arbor this Teferi. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I'm tired of Jeff always throwing facts in my face. Oh, damn facts. Am I dead? They're like gonna mutagenic growth this thing and then become a Mensit and kill me. Is this my life? Please just kill Teferi. Please just kill Teferi. Don't kill me from 14. Yeah, I played Betrayal Spy. It's a good one. Don't patronize me and my love of Candyland. I just won the MC Candyland, don't you insult me. Can't get turn 3 card to Candyland, yep. Dryad Arbor means business, chat. That rant brought me back and gave me life. Thanks for the 2 months, Dr. Kitty. Welcome back. Hope you're having a good one. Alright, so gonna go ahead and snap bolt this silly Dryad Arbor. Am I? No, I was gonna hit him for 4. I do agree with that. I think the adventure creatures are great. I tweeted that the other day. I think the adventure creature is like one of the best designs in Magic in a very long time. Nah, I'm actually just gonna kill this now. Let's not get caught with our hand in the cookie jar. Let's just do this. I was almost gonna pass to their turn and like try and get some extra value out of it, but we're gonna kill them fast enough here that I just want to like not die by mistake, I think. There's probably some combination of cards that like lead to me getting dead if I let them untap with this next turn. Better hurry up and pick up your copy of Candyland now before Amazon sells out, right? Real advice. Real talk. Yes, after a short hiatus, I'm back to managing my own Twitter account. Mostly just not responding to people. If I type a response out to someone and it's rude, I just block them instead of responding to them. I just miss lethal. Could have bolt snap bolted them. It's fine. There's no wrong way to eat this, Recess. Look at that. No spell skite, so we won. God bless. Matchup's a lot easier when we don't get spell skited. Think I'm again gonna cut Bonecrusher Giant. Am I? I did not ever play Duelist. That was one that had positional elements to it, right? Split the difference on these adventure creatures. I don't know which one I like more in this matchup. Does Resto do anything useful? Yeah, it blocks. It blocks Inkmoth and survives a lot of the time. And it blocks Inkmoth and survives, and it also resets Snapcaster Mage and Spell Queller, which is great. Yeah, Betrayal. You talking about Betrayal at House on the Hill? It's definitely one I played before. Lead on Flooded Strand here. If they don't give me something to bolt, I can still up this turn. If they have Spell Skite, we get to Abrade it. Good stuff. I just want to bottom that. I have enough mana to cast most of my spells. I just want to, like, find my way to more hard removal in case they have more spell skites. Just their best card against us. So definitely want to Abrade now on my turn while they're tapped out, because I don't want to get it, like, Blossoming Defense or anything like that. Then having a second red source feels a little bit bad with this hand, so maybe I'm supposed to keep the Scalding Tarn. I enjoy reading. It's been a very long time since I've been able to sit down and actually read a book. Pretty good chance we die here. So I'm gonna do this now. Make them tap to protect it. Wow, just stone cold nothing. That's great for us. Yeah, you can always find my thoughts on the latest ban list update by typing !bans in chat the day after. Tis my promise to you. We'll always be updated. All right, those are good rips. Let's give Spellskite the D here. Yeah, if I keep them off of Spellskite, our hand is like pretty good. Old art, Hallowed Fountain better than new art? Maybe. I like a lot of this latest Shock lands. I think, like, obviously there's some variation between editions of Shocklands, but I think in general, my preference on the lands goes, the newest ones, the oldest ones, and the ones in the middle. Wow, that just worked. All right, sick. The hand must be all blanks, huh? Yeah, that's fair. I definitely agree it has that feel to it, Hunk. I would like to block. Why isn't Spellskite? Because Spellskite's an 0-4. Yeah, Spellskite wouldn't be modern playable if it died to Bolt. It's been pretty middling, Jasonet. This has been an okay match just because my opponent's been kind of unlucky. Like a lot of the games we've played so far today have just been like somebody does nothing and then dies. Feels like an apt descriptor. What if instead we didn't do that? We 3-1 now? I think we're 3-1. I have a kind of random question, but I feel like based on my audience, there might be someone here that knows before I go Google searching later tonight. Does anybody know, does WordPress have built-in analytics to tell me which pages on my website are getting how much traffic? Anybody know? If I'm running a fairly current version of WordPress? Are there built-in ways? Really? You need to use an add-on? All right. I'll need to set up Google Analytics. That's annoying, but doable. I'm curious. Curious to see, like, how much traffic on my site actually the modern decks actually generate to figure out if I want to keep maintaining them. It's a non-zero amount of work. I may be an astronaut, lawyer, doctor, but I'm certainly not a software dub. Annoying but doable is my usual catchphrase for maintaining WordPress. It's funny because it's true. Neo Brand will actually be the next modern deck we play on stream. There's 2 modern decks left in the queue, and Neo Shield Brand will be the next one. We've played a couple of Jeskai aggressive decks in Pioneer. Not one super close to this. There's actually one pretty close to this. It's close-ish. Yeah, it's got a bunch of Spell Quellers. It's actually very close. So we're gonna do something like this when it gets to the top of the queue. I think it's scheduled to happen later this week in Pioneer. Hey, we'll do Thrin. Thanks for the support. I don't know. When people say things like you should move to not WordPress, I feel like that's a comment that lacks being constructive and specific. Because, like, here in reality, where most of us live, like, WordPress is very reasonable. When you look at the actual alternatives, that like other things you could be using, like. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to Standard. We went 3-1 in matches played. We're probably gonna lose this matchup's just really bad. I don't know. We went 3-1 in matches that we played. I really didn't enjoy the games today with this. This format's left a bit to be desired for me for a little bit now, and Pioneer really just put things into perspective for me. And I feel like we just said, I'm looking forward to trying something close to this in Pioneer. And yeah, I think this deck's fine. The adventure creatures felt very reasonable, but as a whole, I don't know that I really want to play. Playing tier 2 decks in this format is just like steadily gotten worse and worse. This definitely doesn't fall anywhere close to tier 1. Yeah, Queller is Pioneer legal. In fact, like I said, for people that missed it when I flashed it up here, this is, I think it's like 5th or 6th down in the deck queue, which means depending on what other people bump around, it should theoretically happen this week, if not likely next week. So we'll be trying something very similar to what we just played in Modern in Pioneer here before long for sure. All right, at any rate, I'm going to go ahead and hit a quick ad roll so I can meet my quota for the day while we get set up to play some Standard on Arena. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. Back in a couple.